Welcome to an NBA offseason edition of Broken Plays. Kwabena, Jaylon, Perry, Hatham here, and we're gonna dissect some of the things that have been going on in the NBA as it has ended in like a week. Boston's still the champion, so for those of you like Hatham who forgot Boston is the champions, Boston is still champions. Um, NBA draft happened. There's been some offseason moves, so we're gonna dive into all of that and talk about that. But first, how are my guys doing still?
Bucks fam, still champions, life's good.
I'm just rocking away, you know?
Yo, you're in a
Zoom
hammock,
in,
dog.
zoom in on this nigga in his hammock.
Yo, show your hammock, dog.
Perry,
Yo,
this
this
guy's
is
the
my
funniest
hammock,
nigga
bro.
ever.
Yo,
What?
yo, this guy's in a hammock in his house, fam.
Yeah, bro.
You're
Like,
not allowed to
what
get
prompts
loud
you
on
to
a
get a
hammock, fam.
hammock? What prompts you to get a hammock? Like, how do you like rationalize a hammock purchase in your life?
I go on Costco.com, it's on sale. I say, why not?
That's
Oh,
crazy.
that's
Exact.
That's hard. That's hard still.
Hatham loves a
I
good
rate that
sale,
a lot.
bro.
That's
Hatham loves a
crazy,
good sale, fam.
bro.
It
This
could be a
guy's
sale on anything.
Leave me alone, bro.
Bro,
the
this
guy's
man's in a
mad
hammock.
relaxed. Do you think Hatham's takes will be more sensible in a hammock or not?
No, every time I expect some sort of
So,
like logical progression with Hatham, he pulls a U-turn.
Yo,
with no
so guys,
signals, huh?
No
yo,
signals. No signals.
NBA
In rush hour.
draft. NBA draft, Hatham, who do you think are the winners and the losers of the draft? If you have any. Or if you want to
Mm,
just talk about how you felt the draft went in general, because this is the first year that they did it in two separate days, which I found a little weird when I'm used to the other way. So,
honestly, I find that the Memphis Grizzlies
mm,
really messed up their draft by not drafting Williams. Like, the
Cody?
goal of yeah, Cody Williams. Like the goal of the league is having big long wings that can defend, right? Like the Boston Celtics, right? But like you go and get a center that's not mobile, and that they don't produce. Like you could have just got what's his name? That's on the what's the other guy that they on the Pelicans, the center. Jake
Valanciunas?
Valanciunas. They could have just signed him for 12 mil, 10 mil. You know what I mean? They're a loser. I find, I don't know how that guy in the late for the Lakers dropped so far. What's his name?
Dalton
The
Connect?
shoot, yeah, Dalton Connect. I don't know how he dropped. Like he averaged 24. He's 23. Like he's automatically going to be kind of a plug and play
He's not
player.
good, but go ahead.
What? He's what?
Go ahead. I interrupt you. My fault, King.
No, what did you say?
I said he's not good.
He's good for like what the draft presented. Like the players were the draft was bad. Let's be realistic. It
Yeah,
wasn't a
yeah,
good draft class. So
no,
yeah.
for
not by any means.
yeah, so at the end of the day, I think those were the two. Like in my sense, I don't understand why. Like why don't they just put what's his name at the center position? Why do they keep putting him at the power forward position for the Memphis? What's his name? Jaren Jackson. Why doesn't he just play
Yeah,
center?
yeah.
Like he's a center. But yeah, that's just my take for it.
Jalen, who would you say is are your winners losers of the draft?
Well, I'll start with the losers, and I think it's the NBA fans because this draft was horrific. A player like Zach Edey going at 9, and there's no disrespect to Zach Edey because he's worked hard to get to where he is in his basketball career, but he's not the ninth overall pick in a good draft. So, uh, unfortunately, we're the losers. I think Stephon Castle getting picked up. I forget who he got picked up by, um,
Yeah,
Is he even
but
good?
I love Stephon Castle. I think he does so many good things on the basketball court. He guards and can switch 1 through 5.
Spurs.
The Spurs, yeah. He struggles shooting the basketball, but he can legitimately do everything else. I also thought the Atlanta Hawks had a very weird pick. I think Alex Sarr should have been. I think was the consensus number one. Maybe they know something that we don't. In
It
terms
didn't work
of
out for them.
picking Zach Rissicher. What's his name? Richie R. I forget. I forget his name, but So hate him saying he didn't work out for them, so I guess can't really pick him. But um, I'm not big on this draft. Like I just think there was nobody who leapt off the sort of page to say, okay, pick me. And then if there was only one or two, then like that's a shitty draft. You know what I mean? So I think the trades that are happening and the movement that's happening around the league, it was more interesting than the draft and had should have been highlighted more than the draft. Shout out to these guys for being drafted and getting to the NBA. Don't get me wrong, but obviously they can't control what they did. But for me, I think the movement, like Mikal Bridges going to the Villanova Knicks, Davion Mitchell now, OG Anunoby re-signing for $215 million.
Yep.
I think those are interesting moves. I know we're going to get into that later, so I won't delve into it too much. But the draft, I think we only had losers.
Yo, before I go to you, Perry, Jalen, I just have a question for you.
Yeah.
Like you said that like the draft wasn't strong, right? And I know you're a big Kentucky guy. Even like when you used to hear about these Kentucky players going to be like top draft picks, you would get excited. But like Reed Shepard at 3, Dillingham at 8, like you
hmm
didn't get excited. Like you know what I mean? Like it was like okay, they got drafted.
Like those two players, like Dillingham, his ceiling is like Emmanuel quickly at best. Can't guard, very undersized, volume shooter. And then Reed Shepard. Reed Shepard to me is a sensible pick because he's high IQ, low turnovers, shoots the basketball
Mm.
very, very efficiently. He's more of like again, but his ceiling is like Peyton Pritchard. So, you're going to be getting a good backup in for years to come. But none of these guys, I don't want to jump out and say, none of these guys are going to be superstars, a couple years down the road. But I just can't see it. So,
Is that the guy that got drafted by Houston?
yes, Reed Shepard.
I didn't understand that pick. You have a bunch of guards.
Like I said, like exactly, like no one drafted sensibly.
Yeah.
Like
Yo,
that
and then
pick is sensible because to me he was the best available player other than Stephon Castle, but who's another guard, right? But yeah,
the other thing, like Donovan Clingan going 7th, like he was the best big in the draft. Like how did he drop so low?
But
I
he
mean,
didn't he go to Portland too?
Yeah,
yeah,
Like
yeah, Portland, yeah.
they have Aiton. Like why are you drafting like that?
but like
It,
unless because I was thinking I was talking to one of my boys who is a Portland fan, and I was like maybe they can do what Minnesota does with Cat and Gobert. But the problem is that Aiton and Klingon can't shoot. Like
Can you repeat
Cat
that
can
first
shoot,
sentence?
so
Like the
you could
intro sentence? You said he's a fan of what?
the Portland Trailblazers.
I've never heard that in my life, though. Like
Oh
I've
look,
never heard someone
I have like
like
tickets
have you
from like
ever heard someone say I'm playing in
80s early
Portland?
games.
What'd you
But
say?
Portland also has Rob Williams, so it's like, anyways. What'd you
yeah.
say, Perry?
No, like I've never heard
Yo,
someone say
Perry,
they're a
what about
Portland
you?
fan.
What's
But
your
like shout out to Portland.
what about you, Perry? What do you? Who are your winners and losers?
Um the winner is like the credits, like the fact that it ended. Um
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm just gonna say like with like the draft for basketball that was the most entertaining and like that I was most looking forward to was the WNBA draft, to be completely honest. Um
Mm-hmm.
this one like I'm gonna be completely honest, like I yeah, like I usually search up mock drafts. Like I didn't really hear of like this mock draft being like too strong. But I'm hoping that this draft provides like solid rotational pieces. Like I wanna see the Rob Dillingham to he's playing on he got
Minnesota.
traded to the Timberwolves. He got traded to the Timberwolves. I want to see that
Mhm.
Anthony Edwards and him pairing. Like I think that would be like the most entertaining basketball we'd see like for a little bit. Reed Shepard, I haven't seen too much of him, but I know he's like a reliable shooter. He's like essentially one of those like perfect basketball players, if that makes sense. Like he doesn't really make too many mistakes. He plays a role very well, um, but you won't expect him to deviate from his normal like that baseline. So I want to see what he does. I think he probably gets traded or like moves in Houston get made. I wanted to see like bigger like trades at like during this draft, but I think it's interesting. Like I also want to see Bronny's projections. That's like I'm curious because I feel that Bronny is a better basketball player than a lot of people are giving him credit for. But
Hmm.
I want to see what the Lakers do with him in terms of like development. Like I want to see the Stephon Castle to the Spurs. I think that's probably the best place for a guard that can't shoot to go, like to get drafted.
Hmm.
Or I'm not gonna say can't shoot, but a guard that is known to be like deficient in shooting to go because I think Greg Popovich does a phenomenal job at developing non-shooters. Like a
Lonnie Walker,
phenomenal
DeJounte
job.
Murray.
Kawhi Leonard coming out of university, like
Yeah.
out of college, wasn't a shooter. Um, Obviously, like Tim Duncan wasn't Ray Allen, but they did a lot with Tim Duncan. Like players that go through the Spurs system, even Derek White. Like you look at Derek White,
Hmm.
phenomenal piece for the Celtics. You look at Patty Mills, he
Awesome.
was an integral piece. I said the Celtics, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Patty Mills, he was a phenomenal piece after he left the Spurs. LaMarcus Aldridge, I'm not gonna say phenomenal, but he was, ish valuable like afterwards. But he came through at the end of his like the declining parts of his career. So I like the Spurs. I like the Spurs. I don't remember the Warriors pick. Admittedly, yeah, I don't remember the Warriors pick, but I do feel confident in whoever they do pick in terms of let me search this one moment.
They
I'm not
picked Quinton Post from Boston College and then traded him.
okay, so the Warriors aren't really looking to like build through the draft, which wouldn't make sense. Um, I don't really have any thoughts. Like I think Reed Shepherd, Rob Dillingham, and Stephon Castle, I'm really interested to see. And the number one and two pick, I'm interested to see because I thought Alex Sarr was a consensus number one pick. However, I'm excited to see how the top five go.
So the NBA offseason is in full swing, right? And like Jaylon mentioned before, there's a bunch of moves that are happening, right? Like just today on Friday morning when we're recording this podcast, Emmanuel quickly signs like a 170 something $1 million deal with the Raptors to stay with the Raptors. The Raptors pick up Davion Mitchell. Bridges goes to the Knicks, so now they're the Villanova Knicks. Just a lot of moves happening. So what moves are you guys liking? Jaylon, I'll start with you.
I like I like the pickup of Mikal Bridges. I've been a big fan of Mikal Bridges for a while. I think that he adds another facet to the Knicks. He allows you to now go pure small ball. You can guard, not guard, but you can go, a little bit smaller and guard 1 through 5 and switch 1 through 5. He adds obviously, more shooting. He adds a person who can get his own shot, other than Jalen Brunson, which is what I think they desperately needed. Um, and just the defensive versatility for Tom Thibodeau. He's licking his lips because I believe he's played like 500 straight games or 600 straight games, something like that. So Tom Thibodeau's looking like that, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna play you till the brakes fall off." So I think he just fits seamlessly. The chemistry he already has with those Villanova guys, um, is going to be great for the Knicks, and his durability, I think, is something they need, um, and can kind of feed off of. The Emmanuel Quickly one. Sorry, I'll talk about OG first, and then I'll go to Emmanuel Quickly. I personally wouldn't pay him 215 million over 5 years, and I'm not sure why the Knicks did, but maybe Hatham and Perry can allude to that. I just don't see the value in a max contract for OG Anunoby. Um, for me, I'll finish on this. Emmanuel Quickly, getting paid. I like Emmanuel Quickly, but 175 million is crazy. That's a lot of money for Emmanuel Quickly, who's basically Rob Dylan. But yeah, I think there's more moves to come. Interested to see what happens with Paul George because he has until tomorrow to pick up his option. Interested to see what happens with Kevin Durant. I know there are a couple teams on the horizon for him that are sort of looking for him. So I think there's more moves to come, which I'm kind of excited about. I think there's going to be a lot of movement this offseason. Um, Jamal Murray's working on his extension with Denver. KCP will be hitting free agency.
He already signed.
Yeah,
Oh,
Jamal Murray's 212 over four,
yeah.
52
Okay.
million a year.
Perfect. So he sorted that out. KCP is going to hit free agency. Like, there's a lot of moves coming up, and you're going to be interested. It's going to be interesting to see how Denver retools to go back at it. How Dallas improves their roster to give Kyrie and Doncic more uh, consistent role players. What do they do with Derrick Jones Jr.? Do they pay him or do they try and upgrade? And then, the bottom feeder teams like Sacramento, how do they get back to the playoffs and how do they get back to, where they should be? So especially in the West, it's gonna be tough, obviously, this year because the Warriors will probably get back, and then we have the Warriors with Klay Thompson. What's gonna happen with them? So it's a lot of moving parts that are gonna be taking place over the next little bit, and I'm interested to see what's gonna happen.
Perry.
Um, the question is about free agency and the trades that I've seen thus far. I like Caruso to the Thunder. I think that
Yeah, that's a good
resolves
one.
like a few issues.
Hmm.
I want to see if the Thunder make any additional moves. I remember actually I have a little story. So I went to visit my cousin in New York, and I met like I met a random friend, I guess, or new friend, on the Greyhound. Don't judge me. I took the Greyhound. But I flew back. The Greyhound took too long. Um, but on the Greyhound, we were talking basketball, and what he said resolves the Thunder's issues. Shout out to the boy. What he said resolves the Thunder's issues were a Lauri Markkanen. And as we poured into free agency, I thought to myself, what are the Utah Jazz doing? Because we know they're not contending. So like, is Laurie going to be traded? During free agency, I thought that would be a draft day. I thought he would have been a draft day move. I think PG controls all of free agency right now because every team that's, I guess, like looking, or every team that can sign a free agent is kind of looking to see what he does before everything trickles
Yo,
down.
sorry to cut you off, Perry. There's just been some breaking news in terms of a trade. So I just want to get that in, and then I'll let you go back. Is that cool?
Yeah, do you think?
Yeah. So the Mavs send away Tim Hardaway Jr.
Hmm.
to the Pistons for three second round picks and Quentin Grimes. So Tim Hardaway Jr. is gone.
Yeah.
Um, and they get three second round picks and Quentin Grimes.
What? Okay,
Yeah.
See,
that's
Yeah,
weird.
I
Perry. If you want to add that to what you talk about, because I know you're the Pistons fan here because of Kyrie. I want to make sure we know it's because of Kyrie. So if you have feelings about
Pistons.
that, you can add that to your thing. But go on. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I think for the Mavs to remove Tim Hardaway Jr. makes a lot of sense.
Hmm.
Not in terms of his ability as a player, but sometimes like when you play with two ball dominant players and you're a semi ball dominant player, it like your value starts to shrink. Um, because your youth starts to shrink. So I think the Dallas Mavericks like relieving themselves, I guess, like of that contract and getting picks in exchange. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm excited to see what they do during free agency. I thought they would have done a package deal or some sort to trade for a Clay. Um, I personally want to see Clay on the Dallas Mavericks, but yeah, I'm happy with it. Like I want to see Tim Hardaway Jr. succeed, and I don't think the place for him to maximize his career right now is behind Luka and Kyrie. As for the Knicks, wow, wow. I was on the phone with Hatham 2 days ago. 2 days ago, 3 days ago, the day before the Mikal Bridges trade. And we were talking about the Brooklyn Nets, and he was saying that Mikal Bridges is worth at least five draft picks, like first round draft picks. And I looked at him with my usual look of doubt, confusion, and I'm not going to say misunderstanding, but disappointment. And I have to say on camera, Tatum, a broken clock is right twice a day. And guess what?
Well,
You were
see
right.
how it
My
is.
broken clock.
But
So I'm happy to see how these Knicks are improving. I think they're in better contention to, I guess, like compete with the Celtics. Before I had them like just outside a top four seed in the Eastern Conference, like assuming health. But I think right now they're top three at the very least.
Haytham, what are your NBA offseason moves that you are excited about? And my bad, guys, I'm because I'm trying not to miss any of the deals that drop so we can talk about them in real time.
um, the first trade of the offseason was really good. Alex Caruso going to the OKC Thunder. I think getting rid of Josh Giddey, who was kind of redundant with all the guards. They
Yep.
also have the what's that guard that was from Kentucky last year, JLo? Keys Keeson Wallen? Is that what's the guard for? Oh,
Kassan Wallace. Kassan
yeah,
Wallace.
Kassan Wallace. I think he gets more playing time at the point guard position. He was a very good shooter. Now you get another defender. So now they already had one of the best defensive teams in the league, and now they're just adding like a first team All NBA defender. Um, in JLo's point about the Knicks, I think the reason why they paid OG the money they paid him was to retain him, but also in their mind they're like, oh, Bridges only makes 23 mil. So between the two, if we're spending like 60 mil, it's okay kind of thing because Bridges' contract is so low. So that's like I get where they're paying OG 35 mil now every year, but because Bridges contracts for the next 3 years at 23 mil, which is a value pick, I think it makes sense for their roster construction. You know what I mean? They couldn't lose OG as well because they can't offer anybody over the salary cap because they have Randall still there as well. Um, so I think paying OG was a very good decision. They also have another trade asset in Randall if they want to get rid of him because he kind of becomes redundant. Are you going to start playing him at the center position? He can't really guard big centers. He's already under. He's like what 6'9"? He's a
Six
six
eight.
nine power
Yeah.
6'8". He's a really undersized power forward at that. So I want to see what other moves they make. Maybe try to get a big and a wing like a two, and then you slide David Shinzo back to the bench role, so he's not starting anymore.
Hmm.
Um, but I think the off season's it's going to be good. I think the telling tale if Paul George gets traded to Golden State is if Golden State picks up CP's contract because they need CP's money to work in a trade. So CP's making 30 mil. So if they pick up that contract, then I think there's something in the works.
Is
But
it
I
not a
think
player option?
no, it's a team option. So it was a
It's
team
team
option
option.
last year. Yeah, so it was a team option last year and team option this year. I don't know, like I don't know what picks they have off the top of my head, what they can offer for PG. But maybe in an ideal world, they get PG, they keep Andrew Wiggins, and then they pay Clay 3 years. So then they have Clay coming off the bench, and they still have Steph Curry, and they have Draymond Green. I think at that point, you're in contention for like the fifth or fourth seed with that kind of a roster. But other than that, there's no really big thing. Like this trade right now with the Pistons was kind of redundant. Like it was just like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like,
Apparently, so I've been reading a bit about like the trade. Apparently, the move helps them have more money to re-sign Derek Jones Jr.
They free up 12.9 mil for the mid level
Exactly,
exception.
exactly.
but
So
why are you paying him, bro?
Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah, like why are you paying him?
I think they've decided that there's nobody better on the market, based on what I forget what the GM's name is, Tim some, but they've decided that there's nobody better that's on the market at
Nick Harrison,
that yeah at that money
Nico
level
Harrison, yeah.
at
But
the sorry at that salary level.
my thing is like, would you rather use your mid-level exception on someone maybe like I don't know, the Martin guy, one of the Martin twins from Miami. I know he might get a little bit more money, but would he be a better fit than Derrick Jones because he can shoot the three and play better defense? Like he can play like somewhat good defense, but he's a better three-point shooter. So my
Is the
thing is,
disparity that vast in terms of their ability to shoot the three? Because I don't think it is, but I could be wrong.
oh bro, I don't think what's his, like he got like the minimum last year, so he was boo 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 boo. Like no one wanted him. I don't know. This is my opinion.
Let's talk about who are the best small forwards in the league. This is something that we've been trying to talk about, but there's been so much breaking news and stuff that we couldn't get to it. So I want to hear from you, starting with Hatham, then we'll go with Perry, then we'll go with Jaylon. Who are your best small forwards in the league? We'll go Hatham, Jaylon, and Perry. Perry wants to go last, so I think he's going to come in with some heat. So, Hatham, who are your best small forwards in the league?
What are we going by? Are we going by what they got drafted, or what's the context of this question? Are we doing last year who was starting at small forward? Are we doing what are we doing here? Because I
Yeah,
know
let's go
JLo's
with
gonna come in with some craziness, bro.
no, like yeah, like in the recent years,
What did you hit
like
us with last time? Joe Goodrich?
Is LeBron James considered a small forward at this point in the stage of his career? Is KD a small forward?
I think they're power forward. This is power forwards, no?
That's what I'm saying. So are we doing them as power forwards? But we know them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess it'll just be whatever they were last year. Small forwards. Hmm. I'd put probably because Jason Tatum's listed as power forward. Is he a
No,
power
this is
forward?
a small forward.
Okay. What about Jalen Brown?
Shooting guard.
yeah, Jalen Brown's listed as a shooting guard, and
Jalen
Jason
Brown
Tatum's
is a
listed as
small
a small
forward.
forward. But they all,
Jalen
but
Brown
they
is
all, but they all played one position up because Derek White and Holiday were like the 1 and 2, and then so you had to bump up Brown to the 3, Tatum to the 4, and then Horford played a 5. But
So Tatum's a
listed,
forward.
Jalen Brown is actually a shooting guard, and Jason Tatum is a small forward.
Thank you.
Tatum is a
okay.
forward.
Okay.
Tatum is a
Okay.
forward.
So based off this year's rules, we'll put Jalen Brown in there, and we'll put Jason Tatum in there for whatever. So based off the finals of performance, I would put Brown over Jason Tatum because the voters said it, right? I didn't say it. In the Eastern
Don't hide
in
behind
the
that.
East in the
Don't hide
Eastern
behind that.
But
Don't hide
I
behind
swear
that.
he's like looking at Jalen too. He's like, yo, the
Huh?
voters said it. I didn't say it. Like looking right at Jalen.
like he was the best player in the Eastern Conference Finals. He was the best player in the finals. Not my vote. The voters decided. That's it, bro. I'm going with it. So I'll go Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum. I think like I don't think of anyone right now like small forwards. Who's a good small forward? Is Ant a small forward or is he a
No,
power?
he's a shooting guard.
He's a shooting. Okay, so I go PG, I guess. PG. Our Kawhi is a 4, so we can't put Kawhi.
He's actually
Um,
listed as a small forward.
oh, okay, then I put Kawhi, PG, and I can't think of maybe I guess Bridges is a good one, just like a guy that plays, but that's about it. I get honorable mentions. J-Lo's gonna bring him up. Don't worry, I got you, J-Lo. Zach?
Zach Levine, baby. My nigga Zach.
Yo, Jalen, the floor is yours now.
um, I
Bob
think
Cousy.
that Gail Goodrich actually, but I think that I'm gonna put LeBron still as a small forward. So LeBron is still my number one
Yo,
small
wait,
forward.
hold on. Hate them. I, hate them. How you feeling about that one?
The nigga can't defend small forwards anymore, bro. He's a power forward.
Yo,
Okay,
Jalen,
anyways.
continue.
Niggas got to be perfect around you, huh? Can't make no mistakes, huh?
Your first player
Okay,
is a
wait, hold
power
on.
forward.
You know what's the funniest thing? The one time that like Jalen's like giving LeBron clout, hate them still find something wrong with the way you're
Eli's a
giving him
hater,
clout.
fam. He's a
Yo,
hater, bro.
yo, Jalen, continue. My
Um,
bad, bro.
nah, no seriousness. I have Jason Tatum number one. I have Kawhi Leonard number two. Jalen Brown, I consider a shooting guard because he's listed as a shooting guard, so I'm not going to put him in the small forwards list. I have Jimmy Butler number three. I have I say Kawhi is number two, Jimmy Butler number three. Oh, I have Chris Middleton number four.
Huh?
Um, not Miles Bridges. What's his name? Mikal Bridges number five. You asked for top five, no?
Top
Okay.
three,
Who is
top
your
five. You,
4?
you give
Chris Middleton.
I guess riding around in a wheelchair is just vibes, huh? You know what I mean? Just cruising in his
Yo,
car,
again,
bro.
niggas got to be perfect around you, bro. Golly, fam.
Yo, have you seen his
So,
hairline?
Oh, Michael Porter
Just you're
Jr.
on shot
honorable
player.
mention.
Perry, what's your list?
All right, gentlemen. Does KD count as a small forward?
No,
No,
he's a power forward.
actually, I just put LeBron as a small forward, but that was just to fucking hate them.
Okay, well, KD. I have KD, LeBron, Jalen Brown, PG, and Jimmy Butler. It's the only thing that makes sense, bro.
So you don't have
Don't
Jason
fight it.
Tatum in
Just
there?
understand it. Tatum's a power forward.
No, he's not. He's a small forward.
No,
Bro, if you're putting
everybody.
if you're putting KD and LeBron there, you're gonna
Why
have to
are you
put Jason
yelling at
Tatum
me?
in there as well.
Tell him, hate them.
Why are you yelling at me?
Why do you sound like Biden, bro? Like last night, bro.
Like,
Joe Biden, that's literally
I have in all honesty, I put Jalen Brown as my small forward. I have Jimmy Butler. I have Paul George. And this is where I think it gets difficult because to add another two, I guess I like Brandon Ingram. Like I think Brandon Ingram doesn't
over
get enough love.
Oh, sorry. Did you mention Jason Tatum yet, or did I miss that?
I had Jalen Brown at my small forward
he's a power
because
forward, technically.
Jalen Brown.
No, Jason Tatum. I'm telling Joe.
Oh, so you're okay. So you're considering him power forward. Okay.
Yeah, like I thought Jason Tatum was a power forward, and I have Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes, I think, is considered a power forward too, no?
He's considered a small forward.
No, small forward.
I have Scotty Barnes. I have Jalen Brown. I have Paul George. I have Jimmy Butler, and I have Jalen Brown.
What about
Wait, did I
Kawhi?
say Paul George?
Scotty Barnes.
No, you didn't say Paul George. That's why I was
Oh.
saying.
Yeah, he's a
I
small
said
forward
Jimmy,
first, then a
Paul
power
George,
forward.
Jalen Brown. I have Scotty,
Brandon Ingram.
and then I have Brandon Ingram. Those are my top
Yeah, I forgot
five
about Paul George. Not gonna lie to you, bro.
small forwards in the league. Because
So
KD
you have
doesn't count as a small forward. LeBron doesn't count as a small forward, and I don't have Bridges in there at my top five, and I don't have
so do you
Michael Porter
think
You keep not mentioning Jason Tatum, and I just
because he's
just why?
he's listed as a power forward.
no? But my question is, do you consider DeRozan better
I don't
than
like your
Ingram?
tone, Jalen.
We're not gonna ask the question, bro.
I don't like your tone, Jalen. It's like you're never
What's going
listening.
on here?
It's like you're never listening.
Yo, Perry, are we dating? What's going on, fam?
The fact that you have to ask, no, I have Jason Tatum at my four. Truly, I believe he's a three. If you're to take all the players I believe are threes, my list would look a lot different. It would be KD, JT, LeBron, JB, PG.
You have him over Kawhi in that list.
Like until Kawhi gives me at least 85% of a regular season play. Like how am
He
I
did
gonna
it
put
last
him
year.
He did. He did.
Last year.
as a power forward? Like, Halem, you're the one who goes with the specifics, so you have to understand the specifics for yourself.
So before we end off, we do
You're
have
welcome.
to talk about Team Canada's basketball team. They put out the 20-man training camp roster. I thought that it was like a really good roster, and Dylan got into an argument with me because one player is on the team that he doesn't like. But I think like Canada has a good shot of medaling with the roster that they have, like Kyle Alexander, Nikhil Alexander Walker, R.J. Barrett, Dylan Brooks, Lugans Dort, Zach Edey, Shea Gilchrist Alexander, Jamal Murray, Andrew Nemhard, Kelly Olynyk, Dwight Powell, Andrew Wiggins. There's some other people on that list too who people might think should be on that roster. But for you guys, how you feeling about Team Canada heading into the Olympics? And who should be on the team that is not a lock? Hate them.
Honestly, I don't think Andrew Wiggins should be on the team. I remember 8 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
people were begging this man to be on the Team Canada team, and he basically said like,
Pay me.
"Shoo shoo." You know what I mean? Like he was like, "Yo,"
What do you
he
say?
was like, "Shoo shoo." That's what he did, bro. Team Canada was on their knees saying, "Oh, please play for us," and he said, "Maybe next time."
On their knees is crazy work, fam.
My man said, "Shoo shoo" is the craziest thing I've heard, fam. Like
No, but like,
imagine your negotiation is
you,
reduced to we told him shoo shoo.
Shoot, shoot.
yo,
You do the hand thing again one more time. Last time, please. I'll mute myself. I'll mute myself.
shoo shoo, shoo shoo. That's what he did, bro. You know when a mama tells you, yo, just leave me alone kind of thing? You just leave, bro. Halas.
Dude,
And now, and now, yo, it's like, you know, when that girl in high school curved you,
oh, this guy
and 10
bringing in
years
Curry
later,
analogies.
and 10 years later, she comes to you. She has 2 kids.
What shorty
And she
curved
said,
you, fam?
no, but I'm saying, a shorty in high school curves you, take it, okay? In high school. And she comes to you in 10 years with 2 kids, and it's like, yo, are you about it? It's like, nigga, what? Like, Team Canada should just leave this man alone, bro. Like, like he shouldn't be allowed to join. He should be on the bench, and he should just be watching in the stands. That's what it should be like.
Hate them. Who hurt you?
This is pure hatred, fam. I've never
Yo,
seen this
No,
before from
because
Haitham,
my
fam.
thing is,
As
my
soon as
thing
he
is,
started with
like
shoo
you,
shoo.
no, my thing is like it should be an honor to play for Team Canada. It shouldn't be a privilege or anything like that. Like now he's doing it for clout. It's like, oh, my career's kind of going down. Canada's made the Olympics. We did such a good job. They did it without you, bro, and they'll still do it without you. You get what I'm saying?
No,
That's
I'm
just
just
my
gonna
take.
Sometimes we have to let things go. You know what I mean? Like,
this guy's
No,
hamming hate.
bro.
You're hamming
No,
hate.
because
yeah,
the thing is, like, you didn't want to join me when I was at my lowest point. And now that I'm like thriving, you want to hop on my back?
Yo, this guy's making a breakup R&B
okay, fam.
single.
Bro,
No, allow him, allow him.
what do you mean? Shoo
Okay, my bad,
shoo.
Haitham. I'm sorry.
Yo,
I'm sorry.
hate them coming out with his hit single "Shoo Shoo." Yo, hate them. You got any features on this track, bro?
Yo, at a later date, Perry will have an R&B song, bro.
so
Collab album?
A full album, bro.
Yo, Perry.
Mm,
How do you feel about Team Canada?
honestly, usually when I thought of Team Canada rosters, I thought of like when they do the word efficient word attributions, like they show you a picture and then you have to tell them like what you think. So like I show you a ruler, you're
oh,
like
word
line,
association.
yeah, word association, my fault. Like, ruler, line, pencil, right, When I had Team Canada I thought deficient. But now this year,
Deficient? Why?
well, like I mean like the years like previous, like
Oh,
previously, whenever I thought of a Team Canada roster, I was like, oh, okay, like this is a great 16th place like team, like this is a strong 16th place team. But
hmm.
now this year, I think we have like a great team. Like I really like Andrew Nemhard. I love Jamal
Mm-hmm.
Murray. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Zach
Is he
Edey is
gonna
a
play, by the way?
player
Yeah,
who
he is.
Oh,
Murray's playing.
okay.
Zach Edey is a player I find extremely entertaining. Like I feel like he's either going to be really, 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 really good in the NBA, or he's going to be a lesson for all GMs not to choose every 7-footer. But I don't see an in between. You know what I'm saying? And by really good, I don't mean like a superstar, but I mean like a highly functional, like slightly
Steven
above
Adams.
role player. No, above a Steven Adams, but below like a
The guy for the Clippers?
No,
oh my.
Plumlee.
No, the other guy. He was on the Lakers before.
Zubac.
Yeah.
I see him being like the Michael Jordan of Kwame Browns. Like, does that make sense?
What is?
All right.
That's Giannis's brother, bro.
No, like,
I said Michael Jordan's of
does that make sense?
and legitimately, I've never been more confused.
Yeah. First of all,
Like,
Kwame Brown doesn't need that kind of. Yo,
no,
Kwame
it's
Brown,
not
sorry, bro. We
slander.
don't need that kind of cloud.
It's not slander. I mean,
Yo,
like,
he's about to drop a TikTok bitching at us.
I don't think it's slander at all. I personally think like Kwame Brown needed kind of like every player needs a great situation. I should have said the Michael Jordan of like Darko Milicic's. Like Darko Milicic had like a lot of like great area around his ability, as like I guess like an overall basketball player, but he didn't have the opportunity to thrive. I want to see how Zach Edey kind of like builds that type of market for that type of player because I think that kind of died with the Jahlil Okafor draft. Like when Jahlil Okafor, you remember he was a consensus number one, and then he got out the league within like 6 years. Personally, I think he was a true number one pick, like historically. However, he
Hmm.
was like the league just grew in a different direction. Zach
He was also
Edey,
throwing people.
he
Go,
was
go, my
pardon
bad.
me.
Sorry. Oh, you didn't hear about the rumors about him throwing people in Philadelphia? Like he was pulling Charles Barkley, bro. He was
Like, what do you
punching
mean throwing
niggas
people?
like at
When
clubs.
has
Like
it ever
people
done?
would laugh at him. And...
Like, he do that at the club? Like, so he's just Uncle filling people. Just you're out. No way, bro. There's no way you're an NBA player by day and a club security by night. Like, how are you out here throwing people out the club? It's crazy. This was what Hazel. I think this is the perfect time for us to do it. Shoo shoo. Shoo shoo. But I think this Team Canada roster is good enough to compete. Like, if Team USA beats them by 100 points like they usually do, I'm gonna be very disappointed. I think Team Canada actually has like a solid team that they've built around. Like Team USA, I think they have a lot of like scoring threats, but not a lot of players like thrive individually, like statistically, in that Team USA environment. The Team Canada
Mhm.
environment, I think having Shea is like a beautiful. It's a beautiful like having Shea is a beautiful thing because like everybody else can fall in line as not as great as Shea, but still able to contribute at a high level. I think it's a great team. Like this is probably our best opportunity to medal at a high level, like maybe silver. I hope gold.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Jalen, last but not least,
I'll keep it short and sweet. Why is Melvin Ingram on this roster?
I knew.
Thank you. Perfect.
No, so
I'm so
can I
happy
can
this
I ask you
happened.
something, Jalen? What would you tell him?
Yeah.
Hatham said it.
What would I tell him?
Yeah, what would you tell him?
Shoot, shoot.
No, with the hand.
Shoot,
Hatham,
shoot. Shoot, shoot. Shoot, shoot.
I don't think he's gonna be on the final roster, though. I don't think he's gonna be on the final roster.
Why is he here, fam? He shouldn't be in the
Yo,
first 20. You left Chris Boucher. You left what's the other dude?
what's that guy that got
Brandon Clark.
drafted from Vanier? The guy that's
uh
22, 20.
Kareem Mane.
That guy should be on the roster over. I'm not gonna like as much as I like Carlton. Like the Scrub brothers don't really play. Like you need a young. I think it's like those spots should be for young guys, not old guys. You know what I mean?
No,
But
I'm cool. I'm cool with them. I've seen them score basketball. I have never seen Melvin Edgerman in a Canada New Jersey score.
I don't even know who he is, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I saw the
Thank you,
names.
bro. Like every year they release this roster and he's on the roster. And not only do they put him on the roster, but he plays. He's on the
he's a glue
court.
guy. He's a glue
What does he
guy.
do well? Tell me.
He's a glue guy.
Oh, so he's glue.
You need your
He's
team to
keeping
the
them
stick
only,
together.
together,
yo,
J Lo.
honestly,
Yeah.
honestly, the only, and I'm with Jalen on this. I don't mind the Scrub brothers because of like, yo, Philip and Thomas have put in mad time when the NBA players weren't there, and they led the team. You know what I mean? So I don't mind them. Um,
But it's a
Corey
50
Joseph,
man
I don't know
roster,
if you guys
right?
saw Corey Joseph is low key salty, huh? Because he got left off the roster, but man barely
He
plays
didn't retire?
basketball. What?
Oh, he's on the NBA.
Say word. I thought he retired, fam. Wow.
I think he's on the Pistons, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, well, bro. Okay, that's basically being Melvin Edgerman.
Or no, wait,
What's
was
gonna
he on
be
the
the?
Warriors? I think he was on the Warriors like 2 years ago, bro.
Let's check.
Like for
Corey
real.
Joseph.
But like
Yo, he
Corey
last
Joseph
played
is
for the
still
Golden State Warriors.
he's still a better player
Oh, he's
than one
only
of the Scrub
32?
brothers. Like he has a
Yeah,
championship
Warriors.
pedigree. He can talk to the players. He's approachable. Like I would rather him on the roster than like. Don't get me wrong. Like I get the Scrub brothers are good, but like he's an NBA vet. Like he can talk. Like you get what I'm saying,
But he has two
Yeah,
first
no.
names.
bruh. This nigga, bro.
Yeah, Corey Joseph was actually leading that team when no one was there. He was captain and shit. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he can still ball though. That's the thing. I'm still wondering why. And Jalen, I agree with you. Why is Chris Boucher not there?
Is he
Yeah, I
like
don't know, bro.
this? I think it's a
Is he
good
over Powell?
team.
Is he over Powell? I think he's over Powell. Powell's coming off an injury.
Yeah, I have him over Powell, but like I like this team.
Like, where's Trey Lyles?
He's right there
He's
on the
there.
list, bro. He's above
He's there.
Jamal
Oh,
Murray.
my fault. I didn't see
Chill
that.
Bro,
out,
My
chill
fault.
J-Lo,
out,
shoot,
bro.
shoot, bro.
Yo, yo,
Shoot,
yo,
shoot.
yo.
Shoot, shoot.
Yo, yo,
I'm sorry,
yo,
niggas. My fault.
that's the end
Who
of
gets
this
off the
episode.
roster though? Who do you think gets off the roster? There's supposed to be 12? I
Thomas,
think
Yondu, Kabengele, Melvin Ejim, Zach Edey.
no, I think this is 20.
Oh no,
They have to go to 12, no?
I think Edie makes it. I think Edie
8.
makes it.
Edie
The 8
makes
guys
it.
have to get off this
Trey
roster.
Bell Hines? Who's Trey Bell Haynes?
Lord knows, bro.
Oh yeah, he's a Canadian baller, obviously, but like he doesn't play in the league. He plays in like the CEBL and shit.
You have to keep a man named Trey on your
Bro,
team.
peace.
You always
Bro,
have to
peace.
keep a man named Trey
Peace.
on your team.
No. Peace.
You have to keep a man named Trey on
Kyle
your team.
Alexander. Who's this?
But like, what's that
Bucket.
guy? Oh, he's injured, huh?
Wow.
The guy on the Pacers?
Bucket. Neymar?
Mathurin,
Pacers.
yeah.
Oh yeah. He would have been on this
Summer.
roster.
No, yeah. Mathurin is going to camp, but he's not participating because he's injured. And even
Yeah.
what's his name? The guy for the Blazers there, Sheldon Sharp.
Shadon
Oh
Sharp.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Shadon
I'm
that
a
Sharp.
fucking dog, bro.
So those two would have been on the roster if they weren't injured.
was 100%.
That's how you have a Zach Edey.
Would they have been over? Would they have been over? Would you take those two guys over RJ in a
No.
vacuum?
Maybe Shadon Sharp. Actually.
Yeah. I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
How do we feel about
I
RJ?
think
I
Shadon
don't-
Sharp's a
I would-
conversation.
How do we feel about RJ? Because he had 46 points on, or 43 on Team USA like that one year. You remember he was
When-
going
when
crazy?
they're all
They're like,
18?
No, that's Dylan Brooks.
no, it was that one year. Like, it was RJ before he got drafted. You remember? And he was getting the Penny Hardaway Jr. Penny
I'm
Hardaway
fine with RJ.
comparisons, like Penny Hardaway,
That's
Grant
crazy.
Hill comparisons.
I'm
That's
fine with
crazy.
RJ. I
No,
like
I'm fine
RJ
with
on the
him.
roster. Okay,
No, I
no,
like him.
before we go, everyone, actually, one thing. Everyone, who would your starting 5 be on this roster? I think
Okay,
the
we know
only
the
two
backcourt.
that-
We know the backcourt.
What?
The backcourt is
Everyone's
unanimous.
backcourt has, yeah, exactly. It's going to be Jamal Murray and Shea Gilchrist Alexander. Who
Okay,
are your
so
next 3 after that?
Should I go first?
Yeah, you go first.
It's only 3, Joe.
Shea, Jamal, RJ, Andrew Wiggins, and Ken Birch.
He's known as Shoo Shoo.
Oh, sorry, Shoo Wiggins. My fault. Shoo Wiggins. Let me get it right. My fault, gang.
Yo, Perry, who's your starting 5?
I think. So here's my sales pitch for Zach Edey. I think every time we look at FIBA, when we think of having a guard-heavy team, teams like Spain, teams like Lithuania, teams like Serbia, they have a big man that ends up giving trouble to, I guess, like whichever team they play. It's like that center position is more valued at the FIBA level, at the world level,
Yeah, you're
because
right. I agree.
number one, like it becomes a game where you have to have like someone that's fundamentally sound. That's why Spain was always like valuable, or Spain always excelled.
But Perry, I absolutely get what you're saying, but I think it's more the mobile big. Like if you think about those Spain teams, it's Sergi Ibaka, the Gasol brothers, and Lithuania. It's I forget who that stretch for. It's not Valanciunas. It's another guy. It's more mobile bigs, and Zach Edey isn't mobble.
But
Yo, he's gonna have to cover. He's gonna have to cover Embiid, bro.
That's barbecue chicken, fam.
it's not about that right now. Right now we're so I have him as my starting 5 because I want someone that's 7'4" that can run the screen and roll with, I guess, like Shea and Jamal Murray. Speaking of, Shea and Jamal Murray are in my starting 5. I like Aaron Nemhard, so I have Aaron Nemhard as my 1.
Andrew.
Pardon me, Andrew Nemhard. My bad.
Andrew.
I have Murray. Sorry, I have Nemhard at my 1, Murray at my 2, Shea at my 3. Like Shea guards the 3, but like operates as a 1, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Then I have. Ooh, this is where it gets difficult. I kind of want someone that can. Ooh, No, I have Dylan Brooks and then I have Zach Edey.
That Dylan Brooks pick, I'm struggling between Dylan Brooks and Lou Dort actually, but I think I want Lou Dort on my second unit because I want to have a strong second unit.
I have Dylan Brooks
I'll
because he's 6'7". You know, like he's six
yeah,
seven. He can guard that power forward position. He can stretch the floor a little bit. And then I have Lou Dort, like that would just sub him if ever I need. I like Zach
yeah,
Edey at my
I agree with
5,
that.
and I like Shea guarding threes.
So obviously same two backcourt as you, Jamal and Shea. I think I would either go a Wiggins or RJ. I'm undecided. I'm probably gonna lean towards RJ just because he's been there. I'm going Dylan Brooks. Still struggling between like putting Lou Dort in that starting lineup, but Lou Dort off the second unit would be nasty. And then I'm gonna go with Kelly Olynyk. You know, like he's been there from time. Like
Oh, I forgot about him.
yeah. I'm gonna go with Kelly
Wow, wow,
Olynyk.
wow, wow.
At your 5,
Yeah. At my 5.
Yeah, yeah. My
Yo
my
yo
my starting.
I actually like that.
Yeah, I have a
yeah
similar
go.
list of quabs, but I would change. I would have RJ coming off the bench because he's more of a scorer, and I
Yeah,
would
I hear
have
you.
Dylan Brooks. I'd have Dylan Brooks in the
Yeah.
starting lineup, and I'd have Shushu at the 4.
no,
But it depends on like who I'm facing. If I'm facing like a point guard heavy team, I'm putting Lou Dort in for Dylan Brooks.
Oh yeah
So
So
to play it. So it depends on the
yeah
matchups on that part. But Lou Dort
yeah.
and Dylan Brooks can switch, and then I have Kelly Olynyk at the
Yeah, I
center.
really hate them. I love your list. I really do.
You're gonna
Because
make out with him too.
I think RJ Barrett's better like as a scorer. He's not a very good defender, right?
Yeah, that's true. All
Yeah,
right,
no.
bruh. It's time for us to shoo on to the next episode.
my
So we'll
man
catch
said,
you later
Yeah.
my
on
man
Broken
actually said
Plays.
shoo with the straight face. That's crazy. Hatham, you're the GOAT. Hathem's the MVP for
Shoo
today's episode, bro. My
You're
man
making
said,
me feel.
shoo, you didn't want me at my worst. That's crazy, bro.